Most Shopify store owners are leaving thousands of dollars on the table every single month. And it's not because they don't know about SMS marketing. It's because you either think one of two things. It's too complicated, or you don't feel like you have the time to add another thing to your plate. And the truth is, as an 8-figure founder of an e-commerce company, I can definitely relate. I feel like I'm always wearing too many hats in the business. And SMS marketing has always been something that I've had on the back burner, but I've realized that it can be a lot easier than you think. And especially in this day and age with AI, you should be able to utilize AI to help you increase the output in your business without having to hire more people. And ultimately, this gives you more leverage in your business to beat out your competitors. So in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up an SMS marketing campaign for your brand, create your first abandoned cart recovery flow, just like email, and start generating revenue from customers who would have otherwise walked away from purchasing. And this is really powerful because this is a way to utilize SMS that you probably aren't utilizing or you haven't heard about before. So let's jump into my computer here and show you all of the steps. So the very first place that we want to go is to the Shopify App Store. I also have a link down below in the description for this, but if you go to the Shopify App Store, we're going to be installing an app that allows us to do this. Now, many of you are probably familiar with Klaviyo or with Attentive, for example. Now, in this specific example, I'm going to explain and show to you guys why having a platform that does specifically what you want it to do is more powerful. So if you go to the App Store and you just type in TxtCart and search that, you'll see TxtCart, SMS Marketing, and AI. I want to open this up. And this is their landing page here. You can take a little bit of a look around and see what they're all about. But this is the two-way SMS marketing that's powered by AI. So this is conversational SMS. This isn't just some, platform where you can send out campaigns just like you do on email. This goes into a little bit more depth and helps you to utilize your existing customer base a lot more effectively. So what you want to do is just go ahead and click install and install that on your store. Once you're in here, you just want to click install. And once you're installed, you're just going to have to set up a few simple steps. Now, the first thing is we'll go ahead and click Let's Go. We're basically going to select a plan. Now, the cool thing about this platform, TxtCart, is that it's completely free for the first 14 days. So I believe when we started utilizing it for our business, we ended up making about $1,000 or $2,000 in the first 7 to 14 days. And that really convinced me. So again, there's no risk to you, and you don't even have to upload a credit card or anything. We'll just go ahead and try the $29 a month plan. So after you've completed that first step, it will lead you through a series of steps that are important, especially with compliance, in order to make sure that you're following your legal guidelines. That's important, and that's one thing that I love about TxtCart is that it allows you to kind of just have everything set up where you are compliant without really having to do anything else. It should be pretty straightforward. Just follow the steps and we'll see you on the inside. So now once you're on the inside, there'll be a few things that you want to navigate around. In the settings section, you'll notice that you'll have access to a few different things, your company, your messaging, your discounts, and your billing. This is where you'll kind of find all your account information, anything else that you need to complete. But if you follow those steps in the beginning, you should be all good to go. So let's talk a little bit about how this backend works a little bit. So if we go over to the cart recovery section, this is really where I found in our business that we weren't really utilizing correctly. And up until this point, we had done a lot of email, SMS on Klaviyo, but we really weren't sending out many frequent SMSs because a lot of the times the SMS really cost a lot of money. So we weren't really incorporating into our, bi-weekly or monthly strategy with reaching out to our customers. And the other aspect of this too is we didn't even have a way in order to reach the people who abandon cart through SMS. And so what TxtCart is able to do is it's able to pull the people who abandon cart or abandon checkout and pull them into a sequence that can follow up with them using a little bit of conversational AI, which I'll show you here in a little minute. This is really something that we didn't even know existed. We didn't even know we could do this. And even just by installing it and activating it, we just started generating passive income from this flow. So if you understand a little bit about email flows, just to kind of make this very clear to the, if you're listening here, is a flow is something that runs on automatic based on a trigger. So if someone abandoned cart, it will send them an SMS, right? The same way with email. If someone signs up to your email list on your website, they get added to a VIP list on the back end, right? So that's really how it all works. So let's kind of talk a little bit about how you can set up this flow. So in here, you'll notice that you have different events, right? Conversations, replies, and orders. And so there's a little bit of AI involved here in being able to correctly and accurately respond to your customers based on a certain set of information that you give it. This information can be given to it through frequently asked questions and other information about your business, so that you're giving the AI chatbot essentially to communicate with your customers. So this is where you kind of see all that insight. So you can see we've recovered about $50,000 in recovered revenue without really even having to do a whole lot here. So if you come to this screen here, it'll prompt you to actually set up your SMS campaign. And what I'm going to do is kind of show you a little bit about what that messaging looks like. So when you go to create your own, you can incorporate some of that wording. But it's very important that in this section here, that you go ahead and make sure you have your FAQs inside of TxtCart here. So what we're going to do is kind of jump to an example here and show you guys a little bit about what this looks like. Okay, so this is an example here of how this conversational AI will work, okay? So in this case, we've named our representative Lindsay. There's two different options that you can pick from here in the back end of TxtCart. And, we address the person by name from the company GameNetics. I saw that you were checking out a Creamsicle PS5 controller. Great choice, which is one of our products. This person has added this product to cart. Wanted me to see if I can get you a discount. And then you've got, the compliance, right? You can reply stop to opt out from our text, right? So that's all set up for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And then Liam replies, yes, please. And then Lindsay replies, awesome, I just made a discount code for 10% off. It's Gamer10. Just make sure you apply it at checkout to get your discount. And then it actually gives them a link to go and check out and finish checking out. This can be really, really convenient just to help the customer to be able to go quickly and navigate to the cart where their discount code is going to be automatically applied. And then the person says, thank you very much. And she replies, no problem, with a smiley face. So this is a perfect example where there has been no human touch of this message and it resulted in a sale. Now, if I went into the back end, I could see how much this sale was actually worth. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that and tell you guys how much this sale is worth. Just give me 1 second here. All right, so that order is actually worth $233, which is kind of crazy, right? And it's a pretty big order. So, just by having this conversational AI talk to Liam here, this person was able to, or Lindsay was able to close the deal. And there's many different examples of this where this actually plays out, and it's a very frequent occurrence. So this is a great way to kind of capture additional revenue that you may not be thinking about. And again, once it's set up, once you go through this process, you upload any information you can about your FAQs, the information about your business, and you set up the actual message, which is going to give you a template for this, then that can kind of work in the background on autopilot and generate you extra money. This could be thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the influx of traffic during Q4, the amount of monthly traffic that you get to your website. And what I love about this too is that based on what plan you're on, you're basically just only paying when you get sales. So there's a percentage that goes to the sale to TxtCart, which I think is a little different, but it works because it's all kind of performance based. So that's a little bit about flows and how that all works. If you guys have any specific questions on this, just let me know down below. But again, in terms of the strategy and how to set this up, the goal here is that you want to keep it simple. You want to be able to allow customers to be able to get a discount so that that can motivate them in order to finish their purchase. And a lot of the times these customers, they just need a reminder, and people are a lot more willing and able to see their texts and not get bombarded by emails or not get an email lost in their inbox. They're much more likely to open up their phone, see a notification, and take action based on that. So this is a great way to kind of automate that process. Now, the other aspect of the platform here is the campaign section. This is something that you might be a bit more familiar with, but I want to kind of go through this as well because this is another way that you can set up your SMS marketing and really kind of incorporate generating more revenue from your SMS audience. Now, A cool thing is you'll be able to see your SMS subscribers up in the top right, and this will be continuously growing, right? So every time people are abandoning cart, those emails are being captured as long as they've selected that they are fine to, use their email, or sorry, their SMS or their phone number. And this allows you to kind of set up campaigns. So you can schedule these campaigns as well. So you can run your flows and all your SMS inside of here. For example, like let's say we wanted to, set up a certain campaign for an upcoming time, right? So, what have we got around the corner? We've got 4th of July, right? 4th of July is coming up. Later in the year, we're going to have it's National Beach Day, International Dog Day. So that, if you have a brand that sells products to pets, this could be a great email to send. So 4th of July, customize and schedule. Let's kind of show you what the back end kind of looks like here. And this will be the same kind of setup that you'll follow with your cart recovery as well. So essentially there is a prompt here that what I love about what the way that this is set up is all of the templates and the ways that things are worded and put together are based on successful campaigns. So you can be rest assured, if you don't want to come up with your own custom message, or say you want to leverage ChatGPT or Claude, help give it context and knowledge around your particular business and get a prompt for an SMS, this can also be a great way to kind of find proven SMS messages around certain themes that you can implement just by changing a few things specific to your business. So, the buy one, get one free offer, right? If you don't have a buy one, get one free, then you can change that offer, right? But you have your store name. 4th of July is almost here with the first name, so it's going to pull the first name of the person. Did you hear about our buy one, get one free offer? Hurry up while quantities last, and then have your link to your website. So there's all sorts of things that you can do to kind of incorporate your different campaigns, and throughout the year this can be a great way to inject cash flow into the business, because when we have run campaigns, it's been very, very profitable. So that's a little bit about campaigns as well. So with the flow and campaign, you're going to be able to start generating more money for your business pretty quickly and pretty much on autopilot. You will have to set up the campaign, but there's a lot of templating that really helps you that's proven to convert well that you can utilize. You also have an inbox feature. We're not going to get into that yet. We may talk about that another time. But this is something that we run actively for our business every single month. It's a very, very important part of our marketing strategy. And I hope that this has kind of helped give you a bit more insight into, especially with the flow side of things, on how that can really help your business grow. What I've found is one of the most important things with SMS marketing is that you don't want to be too over the top. You don't want to send too frequently. You don't want to be sending messages 2 times a week with SMS compared to email. Email can be a bit more frequent. With SMS, you want to space things out a bit more. What we've found that works pretty well is either a bi-weekly or monthly schedule when you're starting out, because your customers and your potential customers more than likely haven't been receiving SMS from you. So they're just going to feel like it's really annoying that you're messaging them so frequently. So what I'd recommend is kind of warm up and ramp up those customers over time, and start with even just a monthly SMS, right, around a certain offer, and make it really meaningful. Don't just create an offer around just some random thing. Try and create it around even some of the campaign ideas that are in here in TxtCart. This is kind of what we use as a rule of thumb to help us maximize on those specific days. But then as you continue moving forward, you can actually segment out your SMS into different segments of people who have purchased or haven't purchased, or in certain engagement factors, which you can set up in your segments, which we're not going to get into in this video as well. And so really my whole point here is that with SMS, you want to ramp up a little bit. You don't want to do it too aggressively. And so as you go over in the next few months, you can get to a bi-weekly schedule and even to a weekly schedule, especially when you start getting towards the end of Q4 and you're really trying to maximize the sales for your business. And that's really it for SMS marketing and setting that up within about 5 minutes. I know I explained a few things. This video is a little bit longer than that, but in terms of you actually doing it, it only takes about that long. Now, I know what you're also thinking though, is that it does seem too good to be true. And I thought that too, but I remember when I started using it and I was like, oh, well, how much work is this really going to take? And when we did, it was just crazy. And I really think that the difference between successful Shopify stores and ones that struggle, particularly stores that don't focus enough on their back end revenue. And this is really what SMS marketing, I've realized, has been a big factor in just increasing and improving our bottom line. Particularly when we're running ads, right? We're trying to target a certain ROAS. It really does help us to be able to continue to make the most money and squeeze the most amount of money off of the customers that are coming, or the potential customers that are coming to the checkout phase and then not checking out. And so we've been able to generate just over $50,000 so far, multi 5 figures, and we're on track to do about 100 grand in about 12 months, or just over 12 months. And so during this period of time, we're ramping up to Q4. This is a very important time to get some of this infrastructure set up for your business, because really, like, this is how you keep high touch with your customers. So next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into detail about how we actually did it. So breaking down the specific case study of how we generated around $50,000 using our SMS conversion and flows, and really break down and take you behind the scenes of what all that looked like. What do the campaigns make? What do the flows make? And how did that all work? I feel like this gives a lot more insight into a real business's implementation of something like this with SMS. And so I'm going to kind of take you behind the scenes and show you. So, even some more conversations and paths and the psychology behind why these campaigns convert so well. So please make sure, if you're interested in learning and getting more insight into that, please subscribe, because the next video is going to be really valuable and going to dive into that a little bit more. So I hope today you've learned the key to SMS is really sending valuable and helpful messages and not just spamming people and having a cadence to it. Unlike other platforms where you have to pay up front for it, I hope that, for the results that you see here today, that having a performance structure is really advantageous for us, especially when there's just so many things that we're paying for. So, if you send 1,000 messages and you make 0 sales, then you don't really pay anything for it. Your success is literally built into the pricing model of the platform, which is cool. So if you want to sign up, TxtCart is offering a 14-day free trial, up to $1,000 in free SMS credits. So that means you can basically test without even having to take any risk, basically. It's risk-free for you. Links in the description. If you implement this just in the first 1 or 2 weeks, I guarantee that you'll see revenue just like we did. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.